Master of Arts in International Relations. He was named one of the 100 most influential people of African descent under 40 as part of the 2017 celebration of the UN Decade for People of African Descent at the One UN Plaza in New York. Dayo is a member of the British Council Global Changemakers Network, Connecting Futures Program, and a fellow of the U.S. State Department International Visitors Leadership Program, which has produced over 400 heads of government globally. Presently, he's serving as the National Youth Leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Nigeria. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Dayo Israel, National Youth Leader, All Progressives Congress, speaking on youth inclusiveness.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a fine gentleman who served this country with all honor and was looking forward to go back to Katsina on Monday by the grace of the Almighty, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Please clap for the President. My father, the President-elect of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented here by the Lion of Borno. As a matter of fact, the Lion of Northeast of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON. Your Excellency Abari Yaku, the former President of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta. I love Kenya a lot. I've been there a few times, and it's always great to listen to you speak, Mr. President. Excellency, the national chairman of my great party, my own direct boss, distinguished Senator Abdullah Adamu. Let me, of course, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, the SGF, I'm very grateful for the honor to be here. All the distinguished guests present, including my Deputy National Chairman. I'm a party man, so please allow me, and the National Secretary of my great party, and my wonderful youth leaders of my party who are present here, other protocols duly extended. It is such an honor for me to stand here on this stage. I had a similar honor in 2002, October 1, when President Obasanjo was hosting his Independence Day event, and he hosted the Summit of Nigerian Children, ICO, and I had the honor of representing the children of Nigeria on this podium at that event. And a few years later, I'm here today representing the youth of Nigeria, in particular the youth of our party. And I want to begin by telling you a story. I love stories. A young boy was trying to kill a bee, and the father said to him, "Stop, don't do that." And the boy said to the father, "Daddy, what's wrong? It's just a bee." And the father said, "Don't you ever say it's just a bee. It's not just a bee. Because without this bee, thousands of plants around the world would go unpollinated. Without this bee, the rates of fruit and vegetable produce would decline and lead to famine. Without this bee, many crops would die and farmers will go bankrupt. Without this bee, the world will go without honey and we will eat our pancakes dry. It's not just a bee." And that reminds me that the bee here we're talking about is the wonderful young people of Nigeria. We're not just young people. We're not just youths. We're the lushness of this green land. The best resource, like Dr. Akinwumi Adesina spoke about, that Nigeria has to offer. The best export of our great nation, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We may look insignificant, but we're over 60% of the population of this country, and more importantly, President Buhari, we are your tomorrow. And it reminds me of another story. President Kenyatta, you'll be familiar with your sister, Wangari Maathai. She spoke about the story of the human bed. And the story was about a bush that was burning. It was a strong fire in the forest escape, and they were running. The lions, you think you're doing? Can you save this forest from the furnace? And the human bird looked at the elephant and all the other animals and said, I may be just but a human bird. As small as I am, I will do my best to save the forest from the fire. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the youth of Nigeria, the human bird, a country as a country. Many other fintech companies across Nigeria, Andela, Flutterwave, many. That is our own way of being a human being, of solving Nigeria's unemployment and poverty problem. And so when you have the population that brings us the Grammy Award, that brings Nigeria on the entertainment scene, that brings on the screen in Antarctica, in the Caribbean, in North America, on the Emmy Award, thank you for the Not Too Young to Run bill. Because by that single act of leadership of signing the Not Too Young to Run bill into law, it created a generational shift that made a 28-year-old girl become a member of the House of Representatives in this 10th Assembly. If you want to clap for the youth, clap for us. And so, if we're going to deepen democracy, we've got to deepen youth participation in the public sector and in good governance. We've got to give young people a seat at the table. But let me also warn leaders. We have decided among ourselves, if you don't give us a seat at the table, we will go to the Kugbo wood market, we will buy woods, we'll buy nails, we'll make our own chair, and we'll bring it to the table. We must deepen youth participation at all levels. At local government level, at House of Assembly level, at governorship level, at the Senate, National Assembly, and even at the top level. And that's why as I traveled across the country, campaigning for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, went to 33 states on my own with my team of youth leaders engaging the youth in the community. Our message was simple. The Tinubu presidency is going to be an inclusive administration for young people because it's going to come and work with us to build a Nigeria for us. The reality is that a future for us without us is not a sustainable future. And that's why as government, as people, we have a role to play. We have a lot to do. And to do that, we need to ensure that we create platforms for young people to get involved. And not just platforms like Youth Parliament or Youth Council. I was Senate President of the Nigerian Children's Distinguished Senator Dayo Israel. But beyond all of those youth platforms that we get, young people must begin to play mainstream politics. Their importance, you can never overemphasize it. I won't be standing before you here today but for the opportunity to be in the Children's Parliament, to be a one-day commissioner for information under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos State under his one-day governor program, and also be a member of the British Council Connecting Futures program, the IVLP program, the Global Changemakers program, and many other activities created to give young people a chance. Those years of programs and activities prepared me, and I think that we need to do more to intensify platforms and opportunities to prepare the young people for the future. We need concerted effort to raise the next generation of Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, Kwame Nkrumah, and because President Kenyatta is here, Jomo Kenyatta. We need to consciously create the next generation and build and mentor the next Muhammadu Buhari, the next Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because Asiwaju did not get here in one day. It was a combination of many years, over 30 years of participation in governance preparation for where he is today. And so we need to begin to prepare that 20-year-old person, that 30-year-old person that is going to take over from you and lead Nigeria to the path of greatness than you have done. There are many like us who are out there. And you know, I'm a Christian and I love to take my wisdom from the scripture. It says that children are like arrows in the hand of the mighty. In other words, if you are a mighty man, you're going to war, you have an arrow in your hand. If you keep the arrow in your pocket or in your bag, it's useless. You've got to stretch your bow. You've got to pull back the arrow. That is only when it can bring you results. You've got many young Nigerians who are filled with talent, who are filled with skills. They're not perfect, but you've got to make use of them and give them a platform to take responsibility. And we're doing our best on our own. We're building empires in techs, in corporate financing. We're raising capitals, even more than some banks. Many young people are raising investment in multi-billion dollars. So who says we are not ready? We are the ready generation. We only need an opportunity. We only need a seat at the table. We have excelled in sport. We've put Africa on the map. We have created results. We only need intergenerational collaboration because we're also responsible for the future of this country. We are going to be living in that future. And that's why, as I begin to wrap up, I want to take another wisdom from Joel chapter 1, verse 28. It says, in the last day I will pour my spirit upon flesh. And it says, your sons and daughter will prophesy. In other words, they will speak of the things that have not happened. It means they will be futuristic. They see tomorrow and they can begin to walk into creating that tomorrow. So if we have the capacity to create tomorrow, then you need to give us a seat at the table to help you build tomorrow. It says, and your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men will see vision. We need to help our young people, not just to see vision, but to run with that vision by building their capacity. And that's why I'm going to go into 3 different action points for all of us before I sit down. Action point number 1 for government. As government leaders, Vice President Shettima, the administration of the Tinubu Shettima must prioritize giving young people tools to become equal discussion partners like I am today. You must prepare us, provide a platform at which we can be more than just essays and SLAs and PAs, essay media, to give us real assignment, give us challenges. Let me borrow the word of Caleb in the scripture. Give us this mountain. But you must prepare us. We must prioritize building capacity, training, and reforming of the educational system. Before I came in to become National Youth Leader of the APC, I was privileged by the grace of God and with the support of my governor, Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, to be a permanent board member of the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB. And the reason I was a permanent board member of SUBEB was also because there was a policy in Lagos that said that our board must have a woman and a youth as members of the board. Vice President Shettima, it is our call on behalf of the youth of our party that the new administration should expand its policy to ensure that no board appointment, agency, parastatals without a young person as a member. Youth, am I speaking your mind? We are demanding a seat at the table. Every board, every agency, NNPC, NPA, NPIC, every board, a seat for young people. We have worked for the party. We have the capacity. We have the potential. We need the platform. Are we not ready? Can we not do it? Test us, sir. We need to give young people the skills to be able to compete globally. We need to create a platform for internship and volunteerism. Like Dr. Akiku Madeshino said, we must invest in youth innovation, youth community action, and youth enterprise. There are many young people who are running development projects in their communities, NGO projects. They need grants, they need funding. We need to put money where our mouth is and support the young people. We must make it easy for young people to run for public office. And that's why I want to thank President Buhari one more time for the Not Too Young to Run bill. Building on that, I want to thank my national chairman, distinguished Senator Abdullahi Adamu. I went to the NWC when we got elected, and I asked that they please consider giving the young people 50% discount on the nomination form of the party. From presidency, that was 100 million, governorship, that was 50 million, House, Senate, that was 10 or so million, and we were able to get 50% people 18. I want to thank all my NWC colleagues for supporting that, and the NEC members that gave that a life. Because of that, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President-elect, we have over 13 young people under 40 elected into this 10th National Assembly of Nigeria who took advantage of our discount on nomination forms. We must strengthen civic education. We must create a sense of history. We must create a platform for intergenerational engagement. We must introduce policies that deepens youth inclusion in governance, like the Lagos State Subeb law that allows for one young person to be on the board, and many more that the Tinubu Shetima administration will bring to birth. And to our parents, let me speak to you fathers and mothers. We must be like, I'm going to refer to the scriptures again, like Anna, when she was raising Samuel. She raised him concertedly with a mindset that she was raising someone special. No child becomes great without a concerted effort from his or her parent. We must make an effort to concertedly raise the next generation. In the family, we must restore back values in the family. You must remember that you're raising a king. To you, my young brothers and sisters, the youth of our great nation, in this hall and those watching me on live television, I'm saying this to you. You must be ready to stand up and take responsibility. You must be ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn in any form. Programs, or by registering from programs that they carry. Mandela Washington Fellowship, the yearly program, are some of the ones that I participated on. The IVLP International Visitors Leadership Program, the British Council Global Changemakers, Connecting Futures, and many more that will be created under the Tinubu Shetima administration. You must be ready to go out, go online, go and sign up, go and apply, go and showcase your capacity. Don't wait there for manna to come on your table. You've got to go out of your tent. Go out there and volunteer. I started my NGO when I was 8. I remember in December, I think it was 1999, 2000. I was at the Ganifawa Emi Olisa Agbakoba's This Day lecture at the This Day Dome in Apapa Surulere in Lagos, Apapa, Lagos. I remember the 1 million march of Ganifawa Emi. I was in the crowd. In 1998, when Afsat Abiola came back to Nigeria to run Kind, I was the youngest at the table. Myself, Jimmy Ate, Jikate, I think it was Jikato, with NTA, Jimmy Ate, Collins Babalola, and many of Professor Wole Soyinka, a young boy in my school uniform, but already getting involved in the NGO. And that's why in 2002, May, I was selected to represent all the young people of Nigeria at the UN General Assembly Special Session on Children in New York, and came back to Nigeria to chair the ICOP in October. At a young age, I was already getting involved. I was volunteering. I was participating. I was doing community action in my secondary school. You have to be able to build your own future. You have to step out. You cannot wait for government to do it all for you. You need to take responsibility. We need to invest in digital literacy and provide access to information for young people. And let me wrap up, Your Excellency, with a story. A young boy went to an old man. I said the story at the villa some time ago. I'll repeat it. And he said, Baba, I want to know what the future holds for me. Is my future great or is it dim? And the old man said to the young man, what is in your hand? He said, I have a butterfly. He said, so what do you want to know? He said, I want you to tell me if this butterfly is dead or alive. The butterfly was alive in the hand of the young man, but his goal was that if the old man, wise old man, said the butterfly was dead, he would open his hand and the butterfly would fly out. And if the old man said the butterfly was alive, he would crush it first and then open his hand to show the old man that the butterfly was dead. And the elderly man, like President Muhammadu Buhari, calm, quietly looked at the young man and said, young man, the life and the future of the butterfly is in your hands. Distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the life and the future, the growth, the progress of Nigeria over the next 4, at least, maybe 8 years, is in both of your hands. Do it right and carry the youth along. Thank you and God bless you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Dayo Israel,